Gambling's come a long way. Check out this 1947 Mills slot machine. Talk about inflation, it takes nickels. Welcome in. Coming up on today's program, financial warning signs that gambling may be a problem. Over 2 million adults may have a severe gambling problem, and 6 to 9 million a mild or moderate one, according to my friends at the National Council on Problem Gambling. And recent research estimates that 6 to 9% of young people and young adults experiencing problems related to gambling have a higher rate of this than among adults. And some of this could come from sports betting, according to the National Center for Responsible Gaming. Problem gambling really is now called a gambling disorder. And we will look at what to do when it becomes a problem financially for you or your family. There's an old saying, gambling is only a problem if I lose. Well, not exactly. Problem gambling or gambling addiction includes all gambling behavior patterns that could compromise, disrupt, or damage personal, family, or vocational pursuits. The symptoms include an increasing preoccupation with gambling, a need to bet more money more frequently, restlessness or irritability when attempting to stop, and this concept known as chasing losses. Loss of control manifested by continuation of the gambling behavior in spite of mounting serious or negative consequences. In extreme cases, problem gambling can result in financial ruin, legal problems, loss of a career, loss of a family, or even suicide, according to the National Council on Problem Gambling. Now, we're going to have links and information on these ways to get help. The National Confidential Helpline, you see here, 800-522-4700. We'll have links to that in the description and the comment section, and others that can be very helpful. In this video, we'll look at financial signs, emotional aspects, and where to get specialized help. Actions that you can take with your taxes, credit, income, investments, employment, and property. And I work with the National Council on Problem Gambling and their state councils and some counselors, as well as financial advisors. And I still do on an advisory basis on financial issues related to problem gambling, helping families and people with this condition. This work started when I was with the National Endowment for Financial Education, and we formed several partnerships with the National Council on Problem Gambling. You're watching What's Next with Money, a program that holds the promise of second chances, strategies for growth, and financial empowerment. Now, gambling has exploded in nearly all states, and many with online sports betting. Problem gambling is an emotional problem that just happens to have financial consequences. If you pay all the debts of a person affected by problem gambling, the person still has a gambling problem or gambling disorder. The real issue is they have an uncontrollable obsession with gambling, according to the National Council. Now, what are some signs of gambling-related money problems and financial distress? There are several indicators of money problems, and these often involve changes in debt, credit, assets, and tax positions. It's important to be on top of what is changing. Look for new, altered behaviors, assets that have changed, sold, gifted, or disposed of. In other words, folks, we need situational awareness. And a great way to do this is to map your financial world. It's very simple. And we have a video with a link for you called Creating a Money Map. Now, as you create a financial inventory or a money map, you want to show all joint accounts and identify and list any individual accounts. These accounts must be fed through credit, salary, assets, or cash. Often the same things that might feed a gambling disorder. Also know about apps. accounts, mailing addresses, tax returns, and forms filed, including have a secure password inventory. Watch for password changes or changes in two-factor identification. You can see our video on how to manage your digital assets for more information, and we'll have a link. Monitor for changes in account financial positions, transfers, address changes, including purchase mailbox address rentals, like at a UPS store, new smartphone, maybe a burner phone, tablets, or laptops. Monitor credit reports and credit scores. Go to annualcreditreport.com. Determine, and possibly, and I really would recommend this, I have this on my accounts, a credit-free status with all the 3 credit bureaus. So no unauthorized borrowing authorizations can be happening, because basically those reports are kind of shut down to potential lenders. Monitor for liens on home or other property. This could be a sign of unpaid bills. Monitor all IRS or state departments of revenue correspondence, and these tax back and forth communications usually come via mail. Beware of debt collection attempts, and there are some new rules where I worked as chair of the Consumer Advisory Board for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB. We will have a link to those debt collection rules. Create and document a home inventory, including about cars, boats, trailers, collections, jewelry, outbuildings, and storage units. Look for unusual or unaccounted for travel, cell phones, computers, and internet accounts. Now, what are the emotional impacts of gambling, the financial issues on an individual, the family, or others? There can be nervousness about financial discussions. You might ask, is there evasiveness when talking about money, bills, debts, assets, taxes, or investment accounts? Family members are on pins and needles when money's discussed. And research has shown that money in its various forms is the fuel that is used to drive and act on gaming impulses. There can be a loss of trust in handling money. Now, unfortunately, there may be a delayed awareness on the part of a family of money actions taken by the person with a gambling problem. This is really hiding transactions and kind of quiet money moves. They're very common. Sometimes these show up as late payments, debt collection, tax problems with IRS or state income tax authorities. Look at financial statements, or certainly look at them online shortly following a transaction, and check on a regular basis for these. And make sure you're monitoring the mail and, again, online accounts. Sign up for transactional text alerts. And there are the consequences that sometimes happens of raiding a child's college savings, taking out student loans, or at worst, ID theft from a child and running up debts in the child's name and hurting their credit record and their future. Here's a positive aspect to this problem gambling issue that you may find in your family or household. And that will be that the family as a unit will become more on top of their finances because of the need for security, financial asset preservation, goal setting, and monitoring. You're going to be more on top of this than a family with no person in the household engaged in problem gambling. You will have that situational awareness we just alluded to, that situational awareness of your finances. So that's a positive. Now, stay with us. I'm going to give you a key piece of information and some other resources you're going to want to write down and check out. Next, we're going to look at what to watch for special cases of financial fraud and fudging to get income to feed the gambling disorder. And here's some sources. Tax liabilities. This can be the underreporting of income, the overstating of deductions and credits to lower tax liability and to ask for or try to receive a bigger refund. For those folks paying quarterly estimated tax payments, you might end up finding that lower tax payments were made or they weren't made at all. Or you may find with paycheck tax withholding requirements, you might have found that someone altered those at work to increase the size of the paycheck. while not setting aside the appropriate amount of money to pay for taxes. Now, filing tax returns early without a spouse's agreement or a forged signature, or online, or setting up a new mailing address or an account to direct a refund to an account controlled by the person with a gambling disorder, that could happen. You might even find the use of something called a refund anticipation loan. And for most people, folks, this is a little bit predatory, really costly and unnecessary, especially if you file electronically. You'll pay extra for that. There could be bankruptcy filings that could be done in secret to evade debts or dealing with secret debts, and that might even be with a small business. Insurance fraud claims for accidents, theft, or other losses just to get insurance money to feed that gambling addiction. Predatory lawsuits, suing within a family or business relationship to pressure a settlement for cash or assets that can be sold. Now, if you're getting value from this video, please be sure to hit that subscribe, smash that like button. You're going to know more about the playlists we have, the different videos, especially ones that can help in this very sensitive topic area. This helps move content to more people, and you'll be alerted as we post new videos to provide this planning context to help you in your finances. Now we want to look out for gambling-motivated funny business with debt, credit, and borrowing and liabilities. And here are several examples. The home mortgage area, a possibly big one, taking out a second mortgage, late payments, and refinancing. The abuse of a home equity line of credit, a HELOC. Taking out a reverse mortgage. This is unlikely, and you have to be age 62 and up to do it, and it requires mandatory HUD, Housing and Urban Development Counseling, so that might be hard to pull off, but watch for it if someone's older. Student loans, parental student plus loans, business lines of credit, including pledging business assets or inventory for cash. We mentioned the refund anticipation loans even in a business context. The pawning of goods, title loans for cars, RVs, or boats, payday lending, again, predatory type credit activities, rental center activities that are unexplained, like renting something and maybe pawning it just to get the cash. That creates a double problem. Credit card abuse, borrowing money from a 401k, 403b, or 457 at an employer. Trading stocks, options, and crypto and securities on margin. Again, borrowing for that and really doing hyped up trading. Pledged asset loans on taxable securities from a brokerage account. Basically, I own a set of stocks or mutual funds. I can go to my broker and say, I want to borrow money based on this. I'm pledging this asset. I'm not selling them, but I want money to borrow, and this is the collateral. That really only happens in non-retirement accounts. In other words, taxable accounts. Now, there are other ways of getting funds to feed problem gambling. Now we're looking at assets, investments, small business, property. Look for speculative day trading, pledges of collateral, new kinds of borrowing features that are tapped into, cashing out of positions, things that are sold, gifted, title changes that are often used for hiding money, home title and mortgage issues, car title loans, home furnishings, tools, recreational equipment, things that can be pawned or sold for cash, rental property, small business. You know, small business and often rental property business need to have a separate tax ID number, and they're likely to have their own checking account, different than a Social Security number. Collectibles, stamps, coins, art, sneakers. And what about raiding somebody's safe deposit box where valuables are kept? Peer-to-peer payment systems, savings accounts, health savings accounts, 529 education, all these could be raided. UGMA, Uniform Gift to Minors Act accounts for kids. Brokerage accounts, including those with a lot of trading apps. High risk or high frequency day trading, trading on margin, options trading, shorting stocks, stalking meme stocks. Then the crypto area, crypto wallets, crypto keys, public and private for cryptocurrency transactions, NFT storage, cold storage. Crypto exchanges, high risk and frequent day trading, trading on margin, options trading, and NFT trading. And then retirement accounts, borrowing from or cashing out assets or ceasing or reducing monthly contributions. Again, like I've upped my paycheck because I'm now not contributing to my 401k, or I might be asking, taking a loan out from there, or even asking for a hardship withdrawal. Any type of withdrawal, there's extra consequences of taxes and penalties if you're under age 59 and a half. And then same for individual retirement accounts, for contributory or Roth accounts where the tax hit is not really bad, but you're robbing retirement savings. Tax refunds, they could be pledged to pay for debts or turned into cash. What about reward points? They can be used or cashed in for merchandise that could be sold to raise cash. Stored value or prepaid cards or gift cards. An inordinate pattern of store returns for gift cards or cash. And then there could be the claiming of Social Security early, beginning at age 62. That's not optimal, but it could be done for somebody to tap a new source of cash or income to feed this gambling disorder. So in this video, we've looked at financial signs, emotional aspects, and actions to watch out for with taxes, credit, income, investments, employment, and property. It's up to you, your family, and experts, advisors, and counselors to defend and protect your income, assets, digital identity, and credit in a situation where a family member has a gambling disorder or obsession. But there is help. We talked about the 24-hour National Council on Problem Gambling hotline, Gamblers Anonymous. They have the great 20 questions that ask, are you a compulsive gambler? Gam-ANON for family support, and the employer assistance program you might actually have at a place of employment. These are known as EAPs. They might have specialized help and counseling and even ideas on treatment programs for a gambling addiction. You can drop credit offers coming into your home using these 800 numbers. And then there are credit freezes from the 3 credit bureaus that you can request. Make sure you keep those passwords because they're hard to find, and keep them safe and locked up. You can get credit counseling from the NFCC, and casinos all offer self-exclusion lists. So somebody with a gaming problem that really likes to go to casinos, they may actually put limits on their betting, or they may be excluded for a period of time to even participate. And we have many other What's Next with Money videos that'll be so helpful to you. We'll have links to all these. Surviving financial shocks, managing digital assets, money map, lottery fantasy, buy now, pay later, Bitcoin, risks and rewards explained. So be sure to hit that subscribe and that like button, and don't forget to share, especially anybody you know that could benefit from this information, the fusing of the science and the psychology and the understanding of the gambling disorder, this new proliferation of gambling we have in our society, and the techniques that can be used in personal finance to protect one's livelihood and assets for the future. So I'm Brent Neiser, looking to see you next time on What's Next with Money.